Want to speak real Vietnamese from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at Vietnamesepod101.com.
What's up everyone, my name is Linh. Welcome back to Vietnamesepod101.com, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Vietnamese. In today's video, we're going to talk about the conditional sentences, and it's way easier compared to English because in Vietnamese you only have to remember 2 words. There's one thing I want to notice, that you don't have to conjugate the verbs into different tenses. Instead, we just have to remember these 2 keywords and it's gonna be fine. So let's find out how easy it is. First, I want to share with you guys that the conditional sentences in Vietnamese, we say câu điều kiện. Câu điều kiện. Câu điều kiện. Câu is a sentence. Điều kiện is a condition. Okay? Câu điều kiện, conditional sentences. But first, I want to introduce the 2 parts of a conditional sentence, which are nếu and thì. So the 2 keywords that you have to remember are nếu, thì. Nếu, thì. Nếu means if and thì means so or therefore. Okay? Nếu, thì. So in the if clause, there will be nếu and danh từ và động từ. Danh từ is a noun and động từ is a verb. Okay? Nếu, danh từ, động từ, thì. Danh từ, động từ, thì. Danh từ, động từ. Danh từ is a noun and động từ is the verb. Okay? So there will be 2 parts, nếu and thì. Let's take a look at the first structure of a conditional sentence, or the easiest one, the most common structure or way to use conditional sentence. Okay? Nếu trời mưa thì tôi sẽ ở nhà. 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 Okay? Nếu trời mưa thì tôi sẽ ở nhà means if it rains, I'll stay home. So as you see here, basically we kind of combine the 0 and the first conditional sentences together. So you will see that the if clause, we use the present tense, and in the second clause we use the future. Okay? Nếu trời mưa, if it rains, thì tôi sẽ ở nhà. I will stay home. Tôi sẽ ở nhà. Nếu trời mưa thì tôi sẽ ở nhà. That means like if something happens, something will happen. Or if something happens, something happens. Okay? Let's take a look at another example. Nếu trời đẹp thì tôi sẽ đi uống cà phê. Nếu trời đẹp thì tôi sẽ đi uống cà phê. Nếu trời đẹp thì tôi sẽ đi uống cà phê means if the weather is nice, I'll go have a cup of coffee. Nếu trời đẹp thì tôi sẽ đi uống cà phê. Okay? So in this situation we use the present tense and the future tense. Okay? Nếu trời đẹp thì tôi sẽ đi uống cà phê. Now sometimes you don't have to use thì at all. For example, in this situation, nếu trời đẹp tôi sẽ đi uống cà phê, it's still okay and it's still correct. Okay? It's understandable as well, so you don't have to worry at all. Nếu trời đẹp, tôi sẽ đi uống cà phê. Nếu tôi tìm được việc, tôi sẽ chuyển vào Sài Gòn. Nếu tôi tìm được việc, tôi sẽ chuyển vào Sài Gòn. Nếu tôi tìm được việc, tôi sẽ chuyển vào Sài Gòn means if I can find a job, I'll move to Sài Gòn to live. Nếu tôi tìm được việc, tôi sẽ chuyển vào Sài Gòn. Okay? Alright, so now maybe you're wondering what happens when we use the second conditional, right? It's pretty easy in Vietnamese as well. It's basically is pretty much the same with the first one. But I want to distinguish like in English so you can relate easily. Nếu tôi là bạn, tôi sẽ không làm như vậy. Nếu tôi là bạn, tôi sẽ không làm như vậy. Nếu tôi là bạn, tôi sẽ không làm như vậy. Nếu tôi là bạn, I were you. Tôi là bạn, so one tense only là tôi sẽ không làm như vậy. I won't do that. Tôi sẽ không làm như vậy in future tense, right? Nếu tôi là bạn, tôi sẽ không làm như vậy means if I were you, I wouldn't do that. So here, as you can see, when we translate to English, we will see that this is the second conditional. But at the same time, we will use exactly the same as the first conditional or the zero conditional in Vietnamese, okay? So basically, we don't have the first, the second, the third. We just have câu điều kiện. Alright, now let's take a look at another example of this second conditional, okay? Nếu tôi có thật nhiều tiền, tôi sẽ đi du lịch thế giới. Nếu tôi có thật nhiều tiền, tôi sẽ đi du lịch thế giới. Nếu tôi có, if I had a lot of money or if I have a lot of money. Nếu tôi có thật nhiều tiền, tôi sẽ đi, I will go or I would go, du lịch thế giới. I would go traveling or I would travel the world. So, nếu tôi có nhiều tiền, tôi sẽ đi du lịch thế giới. Now, let's take a look at the third way of using conditional sentence in Vietnamese. So, basically, this one will be a little bit different because it's a third conditional sentence in English. Nếu bạn không gọi cho tôi, thì tôi đã đi muộn rồi. Nếu bạn không gọi cho tôi, thì tôi đã đi muộn rồi. Nếu bạn không gọi cho tôi, thì tôi đã đi muộn rồi. Nếu bạn không gọi cho tôi means if you hadn't called me or if you didn't call me or if you don't call me. But when you say nếu bạn không gọi cho tôi, people will understand that it happened in the past already. Thì tôi đã đi muộn rồi means I would have been late. The only difference is we don't use the future tense here, but instead we use a past tense for something that would have happened. Now, let's take a look at the second example. Nếu bạn không nói cho tôi về anh ấy, thì tôi đã trách anh ấy rồi. Nếu bạn không nói cho tôi về anh ấy, thì tôi đã trách anh ấy rồi. Now, let's break down the sentence. Nếu bạn không nói cho tôi về anh ấy, if you hadn't told me clearly about him. Nếu bạn không nói cho tôi về anh ấy, if you hadn't told me clearly about him, thì tôi đã trách anh ấy rồi. I would have blamed him. Thì tôi đã trách. I would have blamed him, or I don't know how to explain it. I blamed him already. It's literally means like that. So if you hadn't told me about him clearly, I would have blamed him. Nếu bạn không nói cho tôi về anh ấy, thì tôi đã trách anh ấy rồi. So that means if you didn't do anything in the past, so things would have been different now. That I would have blamed him. Okay, clear? Right, now let's take a look at the third example, which is also the last one. Nếu bạn tặng tôi chiếc vé đó, thì tôi đã có thể gặp thần tượng của mình. Nếu bạn tặng tôi chiếc vé đó, thì tôi đã có thể gặp thần tượng của mình. Nếu bạn tặng tôi chiếc vé đó, thì tôi đã có thể gặp thần tượng của mình. Ok, nếu bạn tặng tôi chiếc vé đó, if you had given me that ticket. Nếu bạn tặng tôi chiếc vé đó, so basically we're talking about the past, but we still use the present tense. Thì tôi đã có thể, so I would have met or I would have been able to meet my idol. Thì tôi đã có thể gặp thần tượng của mình. Okay? So, let's summarize a little bit. There will be 3 common ways you use conditional sentences in Vietnamese. The first one is the most common one. We can combine the zero and the first conditional sentence in English. So we use the present tense and the future tense. The second one, if you want to use the second conditional sentence, we just use exactly the same structure with the first example, the first way, okay? That means you use the present tense and the future tense. And the third one, if you want to use the third conditional in Vietnamese, we only use like the present tense or the past tense, it's up to you, and the past tense in Vietnamese, okay? Alright, that's it for today. I hope it's clear and I hope it's not gonna be too tricky or too difficult for you. But basically, even if you use everything in the present tense in Vietnamese, it's gonna be still okay and acceptable. The thing is, in Vietnamese, we don't have very complicated tenses, so it's gonna be very easy for users to use Vietnamese without being worried. So take it easy, okay? That's it for today. I hope it's clear and helpful. And I know talking about grammar is a little bit complicated, but slowly we'll get there, okay? Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe the channel, and visit the website VietnamesePod101.com to learn more Vietnamese with me. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.